One thing that, as we know, we can do on dominant chords is playing a diminished sound, which means an arpeggio or a chord, right? In this case, if we played C diminished 7 being 10, 11, 10, 11, we can play that over D7, because by playing C diminished 7, I'm playing the flat 7, the major third, the fifth, and the flat ninth. So it's a D7 flat 9. The peculiarity of these voicings, these diminished 7 chords, is that on the guitar I can move them up or down 3 frets by 3 frets, and it will be the very same 4 notes but in a different order. So just playing inversions, but it so happens that the way the guitar is tuned allows us to not move the shape and play all inversions with one shape. Whereas normally with other chords we do have to change the shape of them to play inversions. Sorry. Right? But in the case of diminished chords, it's a coincidence, it's a lucky coincidence. We're playing in all the inversions with one shape. And so it means if this is D7, then all the other ones are D7s as well. And this is a very familiar concept in Gypsy Jazz and in jazz in general. Well, right, this is, if you're new to the style, you're probably going to start hearing this quite a lot. Either the chord or the arpeggio. Sounds good and everything, but chances are that you are already very bored with it, or you will be soon, because it's just used a lot. So we want to explore different sounds that still come from diminished harmony. So instead of thinking of a diminished chord or diminished arpeggio, I will start thinking about the diminished scale, which looks like this. Let me show you that. It's super easy to learn. It's starting from C. It's very easy. We'll figure it out on the bottom 4 strings, and it's 10, 12, 13 on string 4. Then we go down a string and play 10, 11, 13. And then the same again, exactly, for the 2 strings down. So again, 10, 12, 13, 10, 11, 13. It's a symmetrical scale, very easy. 10, 12, 13, 10, 11, 13, 10, 12, 13, 10, 11, 13. Even that is just a scale that you can play over your dominant chord. So I'd like you to play it up and down a couple of times. And as you do, try to create a map with your mind. Sort of put a LED, an imaginary LED on every note that you play on that scale, within that D7 box. Try to create a map with your mind. So diminished chords are symmetrical. You can move them down 3 frets by 3 frets, and so are diminished scales. So it means, and arpeggios. So it means if I play this, I can also play . 3 frets by 3 frets. which means then this doesn't have to be our only option. So we can start from a diminished chord and then substitute any of the notes on any of the strings with the other notes that belong to the scale. This is one example. This is also an example. I really like this one. Excuse me. 10, 11, 10, 13. 10, 11, 10, 13. And so these chords can also be moved up and down because it's a diminished scale. And the sound, yeah, it's very modern. I love it personally. You know, it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's surely a great alternative to the usual diminished shape that we use all the time on dominant chords. So see what difference it can make. Let's say over the same tune, I can give you anything but love. Now G7 to C, normal. Right? Nothing, we heard that a lot already, but with other options. A7 and D7. That was a diminished scale. So I hope this is making sense. Again, hope you can still have that map in your head. Now, instead of focusing on 4 strings, let's focus on 3 strings. And so we're still with that map in your head, right? So we've got, I'm going to choose this one here on fret 11. So also fret 12 on string 2. So 11 on string 1, 12 on fret 12 on string 2. And fret 11 on string 3. And we end up with this. So guess where I'm going with it? Over D7. I can play a B major triad. It belongs to that diminished scale, but we can see it as a B major triad. See what I mean? That's why I stress again on triads so much. It's so important to have your triads down, your arpeggios, because it's not, in the end game, it's not only about playing B major over B major, fine. B major over D7, this is when we start sounding hip. So after B major, which is played on my D7, I'm going to G. See how cool that sound is. Now, if you hear it on its own, it already sounds cool, but it sounds even cooler if you play it over D7. Remember we said you can play anything on the dominant chord because it's tension wanting to resolve somewhere. And so I'm basing my idea off the diminished scale, playing a B major triad on it. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4.